Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last Podcast. My name is Josh, and with me is Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up, pals?
Hello.
My dudes and ladies. People's
Okay.
pets.
Any pets out there? What's up? Listening.
Puppy pals.
Yeah. Your owner just left the podcast on.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't. It's not a bad idea. We have hours of companionship for your pets that you leave at home when you go to work or something. Just turn it on, and hit. Keep playing, and we'll be talking to your pets the whole day while you're gone.
You guys don't leave it on for your pets? Just to calm them with your own voice?
The cat would walk. The cat would walk into the other room. He wouldn't. He would not be amused, I would say.
No, yeah. My dog likes Joe Rogan.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Because your dog loves freedom.
Yeah.
Zelda's quite loves gyms, quite the meathead, loves the UFC.
Yeah.
And comedy. It's funny. Well, I guess Jimmy, your dog's the only dog that likes us, so
best
dog.
It's yeah, I'd like to think so. Too soon to tell.
Yeah, she's still a puppy, so maybe she'll grow out of us.
She'll grow
eventually.
She's growing to hate me every day.
And then we'll see. Maybe she'll become a Rogan file as well.
She listens less and less to me as the days go by.
I mean, how fast does it work? Is she in her teenage years yet? In a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's a teen. She's definitely done some eye rolls, which I didn't know that a dog could do.
That is impressive.
She just gets to you call her and she's just laying still and she doesn't move her head. She just moves her eyes at you and then moves them back.
You're used to that though. No, but now you're getting it from your dog too.
Yeah. It's true.
Boom. Well, this isn't. It should be make your pets listen to this podcast.
Petcast.
So remember that, listeners. Hello, Fido. Now that your listener is gone, we're glad to have you. And Joe, for all the cats and dogs listening, what is First and Last?
Woof, woof, woof. Meow, meow, meow.
Cool cats. Nice.
Woof,
Some
woof.
dog was just like, man, I only got half of that.
We take a TV show. We watch only the first episode. We discuss it. Then we skip straight to the end, find the last episode and watch that. And then we see what we learned from watching just the first and last. Was it enough to get an impression of the show? Probably not.
Hey.
I would say it has helped me watch multiple shows, given me enough to go ahead and watch the show. So
it's enough to dip your toes in and go, okay, it's not for me.
I mean, Joe, in all fairness, you're pretty much the only one in this group that can't commit to then watching a show fully after they've seen some of it.
Because a lot of times you watch the first episode and you're like, didn't really like that. Maybe it's not for me. But then people will tell you oh no, you got to watch more of it. So now you get to watch the last episode, see where the show went, and then you can decide that your friend is wrong.
Okay, but I feel like we did that. We've done that, and you still haven't gone. You've done it, felt iffy about the pilot, watched the finale, liked it, and still haven't gone back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably many times. Schitt's Creek comes to mind. You assholes.
Yeah. I guess I'm busy. Just got a lot of plans, a lot of social engagements.
Have you been busy? I'm pretty confident you haven't left your house in like a year.
Sometimes you just got to open the window and breathe that fresh air, and then you shut it because it's too loud outside.
Stare out it.
It's rarely too hot outside in Minnesota, Joe.
Oh, I said too loud outside.
Oh, too loud. Got it. That makes more sense.
It is. It is a loud city.
It's a loud city. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But it's your show today, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a show I'm excited about. It's a show I like a lot, and the stars have aligned this week that we get to do it. So, this week we're doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing that we haven't done that yet.
That's amazing.
Maybe I'm jumping the gun, but right away, the first episode is just fully described in the theme song, isn't it?
I think the first episode is just the extended version of the theme song.
Is it just Will Smith singing for 22 minutes?
It's like Trapped in the Closet. It's just like 15 verses of the theme song.
There actually is like a full version of that song, like a radio, like 3.5 minute, several more verses.
I'm sure.
It exists. I'm gonna look it up.
I'm very surprised that we haven't heard something of like the Fresh Prince reboot is gonna happen.
Oh, you haven't heard of that? Because it's
that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh God,
no way.
Come on,
so
Joe.
What happened was some kid shot like a kind of like a spoof trailer for like a gritty reboot of the Fresh Prince, and let me tell you, like gritty reboot trailers a lot of times mostly dumb. This one is like really good. Such that like
as
Will
far
Smith
as gritty reboot trailers go.
Yeah, this one looked real good. Such that Will Smith saw it and he was like, someone with $1 billion should go and make that. And he's like, wait a second, I have $1 billion. I'll make this. So like I can't remember. Wow. It's gonna be on one of the streaming services. I can't remember if it's Peacock or HBO Max, but like it's like a full-on go, and they're doing like 2 seasons of it.
It says it's 2 seasons ordered for Peacock.
Ah, there you go.
At the moment, that's what I'm reading.
So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Wow.
And also watch that trailer. It's so good.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Somewhere in it's just a trailer, so it's not very long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe we should check it out, Jimmy, in between also watching the first episode and before we come back.
Yeah.
So we can
I'll watch the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds of the trailer.
Okay. Fair enough.
Hopefully it's a 60-second trailer.
What do you got for us, Joe? How long was this thing on?
So it aired on NBC, went for 6 seasons, starting in 1990. So at this point, Will Smith, he's got a couple hits, I think, as the Fresh Prince, and DJ Jazzy Jeff. So he's kind of, Will Smith is just a full-on like icon at this point, but at that point, he's just like a kid rapper, like
right,
like not even like a superstar rapper, just like a kid who has a couple novelty songs.
Yeah, he's not even doing Big Willie style yet.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, and like reading on the Wikipedia, just that, what's the name? I should have the Wikipedia article up instead of just like trying to reference what I read 15 minutes ago. But
DJ
there's this,
Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah. Music manager Benny Medina had the idea of the show like based on his life, where he had like grown up on like the hard streets of LA and like grew up with like his rich friend's family, and just like that kind of like culture shock. So he had this idea to like make a show based on that, and got in touch with Quincy Jones. And then Will Smith was at a party at Quincy's house, and they were just like, hey, you want to do this show? Why don't you audition right now? And so he like read a couple lines, and they're like, cool, we start shooting like 2 weeks from now.
Holy dang.
And so yeah, the big thing for that first like season is that like Will Smith is very new to acting, so like, and you could see it, like like he's got a natural charisma, so he's good, right? Like you don't really see like fakeness in that, so he's just kind of being himself. But the parts where you do see like the actorness of it is he's just like waiting for his line a lot of times, and a lot of times because he has the script memorized and he has other people's lines memorized, he's like mouthing their words like right behind them, like waiting for his line.
No. Oh no. Excellent.
Yeah.
No, I really hope I see some of that in this first episode.
Yeah, keep a lookout for him in the background. I bet you could see him like mouthing lines.
Yeah. I mean, man. Okay, that's fun. That's
I will
definitely
say all of this makes me want to immediately just dive into this show.
Just from
At least like the
beginning to
first
end.
couple seasons.
I mean, for the most part, I mean, obviously Joe has definitely seen a bunch of this. If
Mhm.
not, I'm assuming you haven't seen all of it, but
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like I've definitely not, like I haven't gone through via streaming to like go through and make sure I watched every episode, but it's possible that I've seen every episode from just like this being on at Nick at Night.
sure. Yeah, I feel like this could be like in one of those things where it's like, I swear that I've never seen every episode of like Friends, because I've never watched Friends,
Yeah,
ever. But it's just so it's just around so much that I can't help but like someone could say like, this happened in Friends, be like, oh, I remember that episode.
Yeah.
You know, like so I
My
could see
wife
that.
forced me to watch all of Friends because we have some friends who the three of them, including my wife, quote it all the time and then just look at me and shake their head when I have no idea what they're talking about. So I've now
I would've
seen
been
all
like,
of Friends.
I'm comfortably naive with not knowing this.
Stay tuned next week when we watch the first and last of Friends.
Right.
Just kidding.
Friends
I
reboot.
Maybe. Oh,
yeah,
God,
man,
probably.
I'm sure this show obviously hit a lot of like pretty solid serious topics. I could see it hitting stuff like that, but in my mind, I just remember. I just feel like I remember just Will Smith having a really great time at like Philip Banks's. Is that what his name? The dad, right? Philip.
Yeah.
His like his expense sucking up to the mom,
Yeah.
Vivian.
You're
And
saying
then,
you don't remember the serious episodes?
Not really.
Oh.
I don't like. I don't think I like. I know that they existed, but I couldn't like tell you. I couldn't really tell you much of like a concrete thing that happened besides that.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause-
Will Smith moved.
I feel like
to
the things I
Bel-Air.
remember are like the serious episodes,
Okay.
like the one where like Will's dad comes back, like that's the big one.
Oh yeah, no, I've never seen that one for sure.
Oh.
The one where they get like racially profiled and pulled over and arrested. The one where
Yeah, that
Carlton,
sounds familiar.
the one where Carlton gets a gun.
What? That's serious because that sounds like a
Oh.
comedy. Because
No,
Carlton's
man.
a silly Billy.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember the one where like Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff are like fooling around and like doing silly stuff, and where Carlton is
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah, Carlton
And,
dancing. Will's
yeah.
on 2 dates at once or something.
Yeah.
You know, the hits.
The hits.
I remember the
man.
sad ones.
Nice. Man, that makes me want to watch this even more. That makes me want to watch the whole thing. and or at least until Carlton gets a gun, and then I'll be good.
Yeah, Carlton takes a turn for that last season. He's just full on gun nut at that point.
Oh man.
It was the original season. They were trying to figure out how to actually do Breaking Bad, so they decided to pilot it with Carlton's character in the last season of Fresh Prince. How can we make this believable? Carlton buys a gun.
God, I hope that episode is just called Carlton Gets a Gun.
The one where Carlton gets a gun.
I think that the dance he does, the Carlton,
Right.
pretty sure is what they call it. That was like taken. I think like characters in like Fortnite, the popular video game of all 12-year-olds throughout the land, would do that dance. Like you could make your character do that dance, and I think he tried to like sue that company.
Oh, that's a smart business move to just like buy the rights to that dance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they bought the rights to that. I think they just decided to do it, and I think,
if Alfonso Ribeiro has the rights to it, I mean, that's a smart business move.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Get
know
that
how
money.
you, I don't know what came of that. It should be something I should look up because I'd be curious just to know. It's pretty obvious that like obviously no one in Fortnite came up with it, considering Fortnite was like a 2010s.
Oh, all those dances are like ripped off of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're existing things.
You'd think they have lawyers to figure out that they can get away with it, at the very least, even if it's not above the board in reality.
The newest Fortnite dance, by the way, I don't actually play Fortnite, but I know this because of Twitter, is Justin Jefferson, the rookie Vikings quarterback. It's his end zone dance that I'm forgetting the name of right now. The gritty. Football? Anyone? No? All right. Never mind.
I mean, I've watched football. I don't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that backup quarterbacks had their own trademark dances, though.
No, the wide receiver who broke Justin Jefferson. He broke the rookie wide receiver record last year. He broke Randy Moss's records. Are you kidding me?
Where?
Someone buy a TV.
For who? I didn't watch football.
It was Minnesota goddamn Vikings.
It was quarantine, Jimmy. If I can't watch football with my friends, I don't watch football.
Man,
I didn't know that was true. Hey, I didn't know that was true until COVID times, but apparently that is true. I don't give a shit about football if I can't go to the bar and watch it with my friends. I just don't like it. I'm a poor excuse of a man in the classic toxic masculinity terms. I just don't do those things.
Yeah. It's definitely not as entertaining. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's true. I think I saw like half of a football game last year. But we're not talking about football. We're talking about Fresh Prince.
I assume that there's a game of football played at some point in Fresh Prince. That's my prediction for pilot.
I feel like they're
football.
They're a basketball crew.
I know for a fact that they play basketball.
Yeah, they play it in the theme song. Isn't the basketball scenario like part of the catalyst for him moving to Bel-Air?
In the lyrics.
Yeah, like something bad happens during the game of b-ball, and then his mom says, "You got to get out of here, move with your auntie and uncle to a place called Bel-Air." I believe is what they say. Mm-hmm. Should we just watch the first episode? Like everyone knows what Fresh Prince is, and now we're just chatting, right?
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm calling it. We're watching the first episode. It is called The Fresh Prince Project.
Really?
You know what? I mean, basically that says pilot, but I like that it has a name, so I'll accept it. Right. Thank you, Debbie Allen, who directed it, and Andy Borowitz and Susan Borowitz, who wrote it. I'm sure one of you three had something to do. Yes, the Borowitz twins. Probably married. Probably a married couple. All right, so we're going to watch the first episode of Fresh Prince, and we'll be back after that. And we're back. We're done with the first episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That episode was so bad.
Really?
No, but it was I meant it in the good way.
It was stupid.
Yeah, that episode was stupid.
Stupid dope.
Dope. It was dope. I say dope all the time, actually, though. So
let's come back around for sure.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it. But do you have a write-up, Jimmy?
Here's what I have. And also I should say, so this was called something Fresh Prince Project or something?
Yeah, that's what it
what-
was. That's what Wikipedia called it, and HBO Max, where we watched it, just said pilot.
Right. And IMDb also says the project thing.
Okay.
So interesting. Okay, here's what we have. Will comes to live with his aunt and uncle in Bel-Air, obviously. Uncle Phil isn't too impressed by Will's behavior, especially teaching Ashley to rap and ruining his image to his members in the law firm. Vivian tries to remain neutral in all this. Carlton and Hillary look at Will with disdain. And this is, thanks Lady Tink 534 for that write up.
Lady Tink.
Lady Tink _.
Anybody got any like hot takes or just random things they want to say before we?
I mean, we could probably like roll through the characters, and that would give a pretty complete synopsis, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
So we start off, and we've got. It seemed like an somewhat extended theme song to me. I don't remember some of those verses.
A little bit longer than the syndication version.
Right, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a little, not even really more background at all. It's just him really, kind of thinking of what Bel-Air might be like. But then he's
I
just
liked it.
rapping on the door. Yep. And then the butler Jeffrey answers, and just shenanigans ensue immediately. It's just Will Smith being Will Smith.
I will say, if there's anybody that I don't think is gonna put up with Will Smith shit this entire show, it's Jeffrey. Like, I think at some point, like, even Uncle Phil will probably, like, quote unquote, remember where he came from and, like, say something stupid or dope. But I think, like, Jeffrey's gonna just remain, like, hard.
Yeah,
it's gonna
professional.
Won't be able to break him.
Yeah, he won't be broken. He's a consummate professional.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting.
Also, I like Jeffrey, so he's fun.
For sure.
I think I like every single character in the show. Just FYI.
Wow. Okay.
Like in their own ways, but
Oh yeah. So Butler brings him in. We meet Uncle Phil and Aunt Vivian. He seems to have because Aunt Vivian is his actual blood relative, so he knows her well.
Mm-hmm.
He mistakes the butler for Uncle Phil off the bat. So he meets them. Uncle Phil's already not interested. Because Will's wearing 90s neon and jean shorts.
Mm-hmm. And a
Which is
hat
just the
indoors.
Yeah. Those great
Wait,
hats where the
you don't-
biller. What?
wait, really quick. Wait, Joe, do you think wearing a hat indoors is weird?
I think that's like considered rude.
Oh,
by
well, I
someone
mean,
of Uncle Phil
yeah,
stature.
okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I thought for a second, like, maybe you personally thought, like, wearing a hat inside was, like, a weird thing. And I was like, I think that's pretty normal.
No, yeah.
I
If
guess people just wear hats.
if I could pull off hats, if my head were a little bit smaller, I would wear a hat indoors all the time.
If your head was smaller and your hair was less pretty,
Yeah.
you would
Can't hide.
maybe you would wear hats.
Can't hide this.
Yeah. Why would you want to, Joe? Audio listeners, Joe's hair's pristine. Always will be. Always has been. Forever and ever.
He's never worn a hat.
He's worn a hat before.
I've tried it. It's not for me.
7 out of 10.
Could be 20 below, and Joe is just out there.
Yeah. It's a good look though. I like people in hats. I wish I could be a hat guy.
Could be you. You never know.
Could be.
You'll find the right one. So then we meet. Oh gosh, who do we meet next? I think it's Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Youngest cousin, Tatiana Ali, who apparently she, after an like child acting career went to Harvard, has a degree from Harvard, so that's great. Then we meet Hillary and Carlton. There's a little bit that Will has a Malcolm X poster. He's like dancing and stapling his Malcolm X poster to the wall.
Oh, before we get away from this,
Yeah.
on especially the first staple onto the Malcolm X poster, I was like, did that whole wall move?
yeah, I noticed that too.
Oh.
Like the whole wall shook a little bit. Like it's like, well, I don't think Uncle Phil's got shoddy walls, so I'm pretty sure we got a set malfunction.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh yeah, and so Hillary is obviously, she's just the kind of the dumb, the ditz, rich snob but she like fake cares about the environment.
Hillary, watching this episode right now, Hillary is the Lindsay Bluth of this family.
Okay. Yeah.
That's giving her
she's
a
just
lot, but
like
okay.
she's just bent. Well, no, just like she's just a little too rich for like her personality should be, basically. Like, you know, she's got nothing to bring her down, and then her passion is like fundraising and doing stuff. But like, you know, she explained to Will. Yeah, she explained to Will how they're like trying to like, what was it, like save the ozone or do something, like reduce emissions, and then she described how they were gonna travel around on a big bus and like have a big bonfire like on the beach, like that's what they were gonna do. And then Will said like, maybe just not doing that would help, and she like looked at him like, I don't understand why you're even talking to me, much less what you said. I don't get it. And like after she said that, and especially when she was talking to that old lady at the party, and the lady was like, "Oh, where can I donate?" And she was like, "I don't know."
Yeah,
and I was
okay,
like,
I see it now.
Yeah, like, you know,
She's
just
Lindsay Bluth.
Yeah, her passion is fundraising and helping people, but she literally doesn't actually care about it nor really understand how it works.
She likes the social aspect of it.
Exactly. Yeah. She's Lindsay
Lindsay time.
Bluth before Lindsay Bluth. She's the archetype.
Apparently. So that's Hillary. And then we have Carlton. No dancing yet. No dance sightings.
No dancing.
Just a golf swing. Not really a lot out of Carlton in this episode.
No, he was very few sightings.
I don't even remember seeing him at the dinner party.
I don't know if
he just had like a reaction. But yeah, when they meet in Will's bedroom, the main point is that they're very different. Even though when they were kids, they were very much alike, but now they look different, they act different, just completely different. Nature versus nurture.
A little odd couple scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good.
Will and Carlton, the odd couple.
So Hillary and Carlton don't really hit it off with Will. Ashley is super into, older cousin Will. He teaches her how to rap. She like doesn't get into the school choir or something. So he teaches her how to rap instead, and now it's like her new thing. And so they go to say grace at the dinner party because, he comes down. Before we get to there, he comes down in his tux that they gave him, and he's just clearly not wearing anything correctly. He's got his cummerbund on a tube top. It's a hot look.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I do like how they just in that situation and kind of throughout the whole episode how they showed Aunt Vivian and Uncle Phil in like reacting to Will. Like obviously Uncle Phil, I think anyone can relate to literally both of them. Like Aunt Vivian is like, he's my like nephew, like he doesn't like, this is in his world, like, but he's a really good boy in reality. Just like let him be comfortable, let him be himself, it'll all fall in place. And Uncle Phil's like a little bit more uptight, but also like he came from like, he's like, they had the talk later, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like, he came from where Will came from.
Yeah, he understands
as well,
him somewhat.
and he built himself up, and he's there. So he's like trying to be really protective of what he like did his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So his initial reaction to Phil is like being like, or Will, is being like really defensive. Like, and just like worried that this is just going to somehow like bring his family down,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that maybe just turns into like silly Uncle Phil in a way. Not like silly, but
it seems
does
silly until it gets less silly later. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope it's the total opposite, and by the end of this show, Will is just full on. He's like going to law school.
He's just is Carlton.
He's just Carlton
And
with a little
Uncle
more
Phil,
swagger.
his first episode, Will Smith.
So yeah, and then basically, so they go to say grace, and Aunt Vivian asks Ashley, and Ashley raps it, which is like the best grace I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my God, I would love to be at a dinner like that. That sounds amazing.
I want to go back and watch that again. But yeah, other than that, so then then the guests leave, and Phil is pissed at Will, and has this chat, and he's like, look, like you don't think that I get you, Will, but I get you. I know where you're coming from. I actually was down with, like, I heard Malcolm X speak and all this stuff.
Yeah, he's like, you have this poster on your wall of Malcolm X, but like I heard him speak, which is like Will's coming into this thinking like that, Uncle Phil is a Republican and he doesn't know anything about like these activists from the 60s or whatever.
Sure, yeah. He mentions earlier in the dinner party to Vivian that Ronald Reagan lives down the street, and he's been inviting him to these parties and hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
So you do get a little bit of that vibe, and then he's like, yeah, Will, I went through civil rights movement,
Yeah. And he talks about that he's like seen bigotry. He like, he was as poor as Will was when he grew up. I think that was just like a really like James Avery, the actor who plays Uncle Phil, is just like so good. Like with this type of setup, you're built up to like totally side with Will and think that all the stuck up people are just stupid and whatever. And for most, if this episode's 22 minutes, for the 15 minutes of the episode, you're totally on Will's side, and you're just like, man, everybody loosen up. You're so uptight. But then when Uncle Phil comes in and he's like, hey man, like we brought you out here and like we know it's going to be an adjustment, but you're like completely disrespecting us. You're like, oh, wait a second. Maybe Will is out of line.
Yeah, right.
Like, and it's just something about like James Avery's gravity that you're just like, oh, like this is serious. And like, like he almost like sit up straight just sitting at home.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like when he has something serious to say, even on TV, much less, my God, if he was like standing actually in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, totally. Yes, sir. Like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he his like presence somehow like demands respect
Yeah.
when he's serious, but you can make him a buffoon too. If you're like Will.
You're wanting that. You want silly Phil. I don't know. I don't see it.
Wait for the predictions, Jimmy. Just wait for them.
What else? Then the episode just sort of kind of ends weirdly. He goes up to Ashley's room, and she's listening to his Walkman, and that's pretty silly. And then she's showing him all the bathrooms that have people in them, and then it just sort of ends when Hillary walks out in a mask, a face mask.
Yeah, there's just kind of like one more bit at the end. I thought it was gonna end with the scene with Phil and Will. And then there's just like one more comedic scene.
Yeah, I feel like they just wanted to end on a funny note.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Like just end on something lighter.
Yep. But
Yep.
I mean, as far as pilots go, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was great. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I was
Would
expecting
recommend.
it, like I was talking about how, the earlier seasons you could see Will like reading other people's lines. And even aside from that, I was expecting it to be a little more rough around the edges of just like the characters not really being themselves yet, or like the jokes not really landing yet. But like it felt like there's clearly like some like aesthetic differences, or like the house design is different and little things like that. But like it was pretty much like the writing was like dead on right away, I feel like.
Yeah. And Will Smith is like just so like charismatic in his movement, like he flows, like it's good.
Yeah,
good.
and he's got like voices and stuff. It's just like I wonder like how much of that is like in the script, or how much is it just like, hey Will, and then you say something funny about this and here.
I mean, I guess I don't know where did Will Smith grow up or what did he do, but honestly, it's kind of just like, hey Will, you're here now, like almost be yourself.
Yeah,
Like if this is your character, you're just trying to be yourself and fit in the way that you think is real and just do it. And if he just kind of was like, oh, this is what I would do, or like this is what I would do while being funny,
yeah,
just adding the acting bit onto that, like there, I mean, I was like, it's just good.
It's just what Scientologists do.
Is Will Smith a Scientologist?
Power of
He
Zini,
was.
man.
He was, isn't he still? Maybe he's not
man.
still.
Don't
I
ruin
just
this for
learned
me.
that Elizabeth Moss is a Scientologist. This blows my mind. Is that her
Will
name?
Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have long denied allegations that they are members of the Church of Scientology. July 27th, 2020.
They've long denied it, even without being
If you
asked.
have
They're
to
just like,
deny
we are
it.
not Scientologists.
If you have to deny it.
Hi, nice to meet you, Will Smith, not a Scientologist.
I mean, if you're like, here's the deal. They're at least saying they're not. But if you're like that rich, and then you just like, and you look at Tom Cruise, and you're like, I mean, he's their god. Maybe I can be their second god. I'm Will Smith.
I'd like to be a god.
I'd like to be someone's god.
It's just on my brain, I think, because Handmaid's season 4 just started, and I just recently heard that Elizabeth Moss, is that her name from Mad
Yes.
Men? Yeah, that she is one, and that that her like parents were in it, which I was like, man, how old is Scientology? Doesn't seem like it's that old, but I guess you could grow up.
I mean, it's old enough for kids to be adults.
Sure.
About maybe once or twice over. It's not that old.
Oof.
They have an
Makes me
entire
sad.
organization of the sea, Jimmy. That takes a while to build up.
The Sea Org.
We got to stop talking about Scientology, or else they're gonna come after us, guys. We gotta stop. They've got an algorithm. It sweeps the internet.
Hey man, all hail
Sure.
Xenu. Not trying to start any shit.
Yeah, we hailed the Xenu.
My Thetans are on the up and up.
Oh man. Yeah, Will Smith was fun. There was even like a quick fourth wall glance. That was
Yeah,
the only
I saw
fourth
that.
wall. I expected more after that. I'm sure maybe we'll see more later, but just the one is what we got.
It was fun.
Yeah.
There was only one other thing, which is like random, and I guess I don't understand. I don't necessarily know what they were kind of going with it for this, but like after Phil and Will had their like heart to heart about like, you don't know, you don't understand where I came from, blah blah blah, like that thing. That like Phil leaves and then Will starts like playing the piano, and
He's
then
playing
like
for release.
yeah, and then Phil kind of like enters into the room again and like kind of like smiles and like kind of walks away. I don't know. Was he just happy that Will's cultured a little bit or something, or like
Yeah, I thought about that a little bit, and I think what I settled on is that not even necessarily that like, oh, this boy is classically trained piano, like good for him. More just that like it shows that because another thing that he makes a point of with Will is like, Will, you just treat everything like it's a joke. Like you need to, like, you're like almost an adult. Like you got to start taking things seriously. And at the beginning of that scene, he's like playing like Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen on the piano, like a silly little doodle. And then at the end of the scene, he's playing For Elise, like an actual piece. So I think the idea is that Uncle Phil like recognizes that like there is potential for Will to like take himself seriously and like do something, because at some point he like took piano lessons and like, you know, learned a little piano. So
yeah, obviously at least there's a point that Will like studied and learned or something, which maybe Phil doesn't think that might be the case.
So I think that's
room for growth.
Yeah, that there's, you know, there's a spark there that can be nurtured in Will.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And it looked like he was really actually playing.
I thought that too.
Oh,
yeah.
I think he was definitely
sure.
playing. Yeah, he was definitely playing.
Earlier, he's like hitting crystal glasses on glassware on the dining table with forks.
Yeah, Jimmy, you can't just say someone's hitting crystal. You gotta be careful.
He was really like tapping a beat out on these differently pitched crystal glasses. So I was like, okay, maybe we're seeing some musicality here working in.
Jimmy, I don't know if you know this, but Will Smith is musically talented.
I mean, I guess, but you know, you can rap and not like be able to sit down at a piano and bang out a couple of bars of a classical piece.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. I mean, I guess a lot of people. There's probably some people that would maybe argue on like whether or not like quote Will Smith is a good rapper or blah blah blah. But like, I mean, you know, we've all heard Willennium, and
I definitely
watch
own
your
Willennium.
next couple of words. Oh man,
I love it.
Big. Let's talk Big Willie style. That's where we really need to talk.
I used a specific album for a reason, Jimmy.
That's fair. That's fair. I think I own them both still, which is.
I've never really doubted Will Smith's musical acumen. I don't think. I think it's there.
All right.
Maybe comes down to style. What else do we got? Do we got anything else to say about this first episode, or should we get into predictions?
I guess just like one more note. I know this is going kind of long, but
no,
one more
good.
note that I think is important to call out about the pilot here, because I think it, you know, it informs where the rest of this show is going. Is like that the race part of it is a big part of this episode of like in the beginning you don't really see it because it is all black characters, and you don't really, you know, it's just a rich kid or a poor kid in a rich family. But then when you bring in the other people at the fancy dinner that Uncle Phil is having, and it's all these other rich white people, like that kind of puts into perspective of like why this is so important to Uncle Phil, is that, you know, he's made it here, right? Like he's a judge, like he's very wealthy, but like he has this feeling that there's, you know, all these other rich white people are just looking for that one thing, like whether it's his like knucklehead nephew or something, to just like take him down a peg, to make him feel like he doesn't belong there. And that's what kind of Josh was saying, that he's like made it this far and is trying to protect it. And like you kind of don't really understand that until you see like those other people at the party.
Yeah. I know I definitely took note of the fact that essentially I think everybody else that was invited to Uncle Phil's party was just an old white man and their wives. But I did also take note that old white lady sitting next to Will when he was hitting the glasses was like super.
Yeah, loving the beat.
Huh.
Because like once a white lady gets like old enough and she's not like insane, like she just like likes fun things, and she just was like, yeah, this is fun.
Old white ladies love music, any kind of music.
Yeah.
What is happening?
just dropping truth bombs, Jimmy. All right, should we get into predictions then?
Yeah.
Jill, you should go first. Have you seen the finale? Like, I mean, I guess as like a French Prince aficionado that you are.
I'm pretty sure I have. Like, I could tell you. Like, I haven't checked, but I can tell you like the one sentence plot of the finale, and I'm pretty sure I'd be right. So I tried to avoid that plot point, but
okay.
So I have that Will leaves in a cab because I think that they tied that back to the finale, that he arrived in a cab, he's leaving in a smelly cab as well. I think that Jeffrey officially retires in this first episode.
Ooh,
they make
fun.
a reference to Jeffrey said he was going to retire for the night, and like Will made a joke like, "Oh man, he's like already retiring." So yeah, Jeffrey retires. I think we get one more Carlton dance. This finale is a two-parter, so I think there's room to squeeze in one more of those. And then I think we get 5 hugs. At least 5 hugs.
Let's see. Viv, Ashley, Hillary, Carlton, Phil.
There you go.
Oh,
There's
he's
the
hugging
5.
Jeffrey. He's hugging Jeffrey for sure. But that's
You
at
might get
least 5,
6.
so yeah, you might get 6.
hugs.
And
Well,
I'm sure
I love
there's
it.
extra characters in there that we won't even know about. Cool.
Quincy
So
Jones comes out.
my predictions are I mean, Jimmy, you said that Ashley in real life is super smart and went to like Harvard or something.
She
But
has
I think
an
in
anthropology degree, I believe, from Harvard.
I don't understand. I don't know what's going to happen in this last episode, but I think we find out that Ashley is valedictorian.
Okay.
I believe in Ashley. She might have been my favorite
Meaning
character.
that she is like graduating high school.
Or college. I don't know. But probably high school. then.
It's 6 seasons.
It's only 6 seasons, so it's got
I'm
to be high
thinking
school.
she's middle school at this point in the pilot.
I think she's old enough to graduate high school.
All right.
I think, like Joe, I think we see the Carlton.
Nice.
Dance. Number 3, this one's a little bit more subjective, but we'll know. I think Uncle Phil chills out.
Okay.
Okay.
Chill Phil.
I think we see some chill Phil. I think
hope-
we'll know it when we see it.
All right.
And then number 4, I think Will is moving out. I think his time in the Bel-Air mansion is done. It's time to move on.
Nice. I'm really hoping we see Phil either. I mean, he's probably just. If we see chill Phil, it's probably going to be like on a beach in like a Hawaiian shirt and khaki shorts. But I really hope it's like he's just wearing Will's outfit from the pilot, just
No,
neon and jean shorts and a hat.
I guess if I can
Inside.
clarify Phil chills out a little bit more. I don't think like they're on vacation and Uncle Phil is just like drinking a Mai Tai under like in his swimsuit on the beach. Rich, uptight Phil would do that on vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sure.
Like I think Phil chills out where he is like they're at a good relationship level where Phil then comes a little bit down towards like Will's level and kind of meets Will at like oh man, that was dope. Will. Like I think
Okay.
yeah, so I think it's like that. It's not that like uptight Phil goes on vacation cuz that's not chilling out. That's just vacation,
I hope we see some jean shorts.
Oh God! If Uncle Phil is in jean shorts, I'm taking 2 points.
Maybe 1. Okay, I also have. I
2.
have similar things to you guys, but I maybe was a little bit more specific, which probably will be my downfall. Number 1 is that Will is going back to Philly
Okay.
to be his adult self. I don't know. Take care of mom. I don't know. Who knows? And then number 2 is that someone eats a cheesesteak. So maybe they're like helping him move back or something. Maybe they're all visiting Philly. Who's to say? But I want a cheesesteak.
Yum.
Just personally right now. Then my number 3, I also said Carlton, but I specifically, I'm going to say a non-clip show Carlton.
Okay.
Because we're probably going to see a clip show Carlton.
Okay. It's like a live Carlton.
A live Carlton.
Okay.
And I also, number 4, I want a live new Ashley rap.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I want that too. I just didn't bet on it.
I want it. I think if we see both of these things, if we see a rap and a Carlton, I want it to be like a live lead-in to just clips of 100 Carlton dances and a bunch of Ashley raps. And I'll be here for it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We shall see. All right. Is that all? That's all 4? We're all
That's it.
done? Cool. So, we're going to watch the finale, but it's a 2-parter on the same day. So we're going to watch both of them, listeners. It's called I Done. Will Smith.
Like I Robot?
Yeah. Will Smith is, it's actually one word, I Done. It's like an iPod.
Lowercase I.
Yeah. No, I comma done. So that's the name. So we're going to watch that, and we'll be back after those episodes. And we're back. We're done with the finale of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a 2-parter. It was called I Done. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
I do. For part 1, this is May 20th, 96, if you're wondering. It's Phil's birthday, and he says it is a wonderful... Wait, what? This isn't even a complete sentence. Okay.
Reading went right off the hill right away.
Here's what it says. It's Phil's birthday, and he says it is wonderful time with everyone moving to new places and challenges.
You sound like Dennis
Charlie
reading Charlie's thing. Vote for me. I good. You see everything.
So do. Even Jeffrey is moving back to London. Phil announces they are selling the house and moving away, and Will realizes he is in the slow lane. So he realizes they're all around the dinner table saying all their big plans, and he just says that he has an apartment that he's moving to, but he really doesn't.
I mean, that really is essentially... Did Jeffrey announce that he was retiring in the first episode?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the whole first episode right there.
Yep. So then part 2 says, as members of the Banks family and Jeffrey prepare for their move, Will tries to pretend that he also has big plans for moving forward. After admitting the truth, Will makes a decision to stay in California and finish school. And many hugs.
And all the hugs. Yeah, I feel like the second episode was where all the meat and potatoes hung out.
First episode's like a salad.
Yeah, it was the appetizer salad.
Yeah.
And then else. Well, because it was like, first episode, like Will was like trying to find apartments, but it was like funny, like the weird people that he ran into trying to find them and that kind of stuff. And then, he was he was trying to not get people to move in.
Yeah. And by people, you mean Gary Coleman,
yeah.
Which, what's his character's name? Arnold,
yeah.
And then the Jeffersons, who then
who
in the second episode you find out that's who's buying the house.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
So is that canon that the Jeffersons buy
the Banks'
Oh
house?
man,
I think so.
Are they part of the Tommy Westphall universe? I'll look into it.
They gotta be. And then obviously then Will eventually comes clean and has like his heart to heart. It was just like a lot of heart to hearts with like Uncle Phil. It seemed like Vivian Aunt Vivian had a far lesser role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and
like,
a new Viv.
Yeah.
I looked
recast.
I looked that up too. The first Aunt Vivian, Janet Hubert, they were pretty much 50-50. One was in for I don't know how this works because wasn't there 148 episodes of this show?
Sure.
You're saying because like it looks like they overlap?
Well, yeah, because there's 148 episodes, but according to IMDb, the first Aunt Vivian, Janet Hubert, was in 74 episodes, and then the second Aunt Vivian, Daphne Reed, was in 75 episodes, which is 149 episodes.
I'm guessing there was like a clip or something.
Yeah.
Somehow both Aunt Vivs ended up in the same episode.
So something like that. So, yeah, I looked it up because I was like, I'm not going insane, right? That's a different lady.
Yeah.
It's very clearly a different lady,
You
right?
Aunt Viv. Mm-hmm.
I think I liked
Nice.
first Aunt Viv better, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that's the general consensus.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Good. I'm glad to know I'm on the right side of history on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Viv.
And then Jeffrey's moving back to England to be with his son, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good for him. Decided to be a dad. Well, he's been gone for.
He's had a son
I mean,
this
did he?
whole time.
Did he go back? Like, how long has he had a kid for?
I assume he gets, like, when the Banks is go on vacation, he gets to go on vacation too.
he just has a child somewhere out there, and just an illegitimate child
Mm-hmm.
from some vacation. Well, and then the Bankses have a new child. We didn't talk about that. They have Nikki.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They call him, who's played by Buckwheat Ross Bagley of the reboot of remake of Little Rascals, and he's also becomes Will Smith's son in Independence Day.
Oh, okay. I did think that
I
little kid
recognized him
looked kind of familiar.
immediately. I was like, you should
And
have
that
a
makes-
little ray gun in your hand shooting down the UFOs outside your window.
Okay, that makes more sense because I was like, I thought that kid looked familiar to me, but I didn't think he looked familiar to me
This
because
context seems correct, but slightly off somehow.
Yeah, you're next to the right person, but not in the right place. Where's Jeff Goldblum?
Good times. Yeah, and he's excellent in this as well. He's
Mhm.
hilarious. He's gonna take over Will's spot. Will's currently living in the pool house, which does not sound like a place that you can just live. It's not like a bedroom or anything.
Rich people that have pool houses, Jimmy, you can live in those.
Yeah, it's
Those
like
are
a
real.
full-on house.
That's just a full house.
Sure, okay. I guess.
Their pool house in a fiction is still bigger than your real house in real life. Just so you know.
Probably correct.
And it's got a pool.
And so Nikki hears that Will's moving out, and he's like, "The pool house is mine." And this kid is like 5, so like it's endearing.
Yeah, he's definitely a little kid selling it, and it's pretty great.
Yep, it's what this show needed. Who knew? Quincy
Who
Jones.
New Joe, what did you like this last episode? Obviously, as like super excited to do French Prince as you
Yeah.
were.
It was, I think it was good. It was definitely, I was trying to like write notes on the way that I felt about this, but it like felt very much like a TV show ending which doesn't
Like
sound
everyone's
very
moving out kind of thing.
yeah, it doesn't sound very profound to be like the end of this TV show was the end of a TV show. Like thanks, Perd Hapley. But there's just like it almost felt like meta, like that Uncle Phil and Will and Ashley like realized that they were characters in a TV show and that the TV show was ending. In just like little things of like essentially like what happens in the end is like Will stays behind because he's going to finish school, but the rest of the Banks family are all moving to the East Coast. They're all like they're not living in the same house anymore, but they'll all be close. They'll be able to hang out. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is, they like treat them all leaving the house as like a really big deal, which only makes sense if they are aware that they're inside of a TV show that's ending. You know what I mean? Which like TV shows kind of do that. And it's not even like, I don't even know that it's necessarily a bad thing because it is like in the real world, we are watching a TV show that's ending. So it makes sense that, you know, the writers would want to send off this show in a way that's like, you know, aware and kind of winking at the audience that like, we know that this show is important to you. And like this set, this living room is important to you. And that you're going to have feelings when there's no couch here anymore. Things like that.
Right.
That they do, which doesn't really make sense in like a reality sense, but makes sense if this is a TV show. So yeah, it very much felt like a TV show. Like there was no pretense of like making this realistic or necessarily logical, but like maybe that's not what you want when you're watching the end of a sitcom.
Right. I mean, yeah, I didn't even think about it like that at all. I mean, I'm a fan of like when the show's over and they're like, "Hey, thanks for watching. It's been a ride." You know, like I enjoy that. So, I mean, that's just a different way of doing it by being like the set's empty, like show's over, lights off.
It's almost like they did all that stuff, like thanks for watching, within just the script and without them actually looking at the camera and saying it.
Yeah. Basically, they just did it their own way.
It was very sitcom-y, for sure. And there was a spot where I actually did like step back and think about it, which is not what you want in a show, like, but to be aware of but like Will Smith is still so goofy, like over the top. Where in the first episode it was goofy, but he's just young and kind of awkward in the acting like gig in general. This was like, okay, now I've been acting and now I have to act goofy because you know, and that I think is what threw me off. And I think that like he's older and Will Smith himself is an established actor, like he's in big stuff during this time, isn't he? Like I think Bad Boys had probably come out already, and like, man, Independence Day probably wasn't even that far behind.
Bad Boys was 95. ID4 was 96.
Yeah, so he's like, he's got chops by now, you know? So it's like goofy that he's being Fresh Prince.
Yeah, by this point that they're, you know, shooting this finale, he's like a big movie star about to become like the biggest movie star.
Yeah. What a life.
But yeah, I get what you mean, where it's like at the beginning of the show he's like kind of a goofy kid, and now it's like he just looks older and he's like an adult, and like Carlton too. And like there's still like kind of like goofy kids, which looks a little weird, but yeah.
Right. How old is I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the age math right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just kind of like sitcom stuff, though. You know, they get a character and they have to stick with it no matter like how much the change
Mm-hmm.
in them is, especially when they grow up with it a little bit too. You're like, you would grow up. You would grow up a little bit. But you're like, no, but this is a sitcom, so like you were wacky. You stay wacky.
Yep. No character growth.
Yeah. So like at the beginning of the show, Will Smith is a 21-year-old playing a 16-year-old, which is, you're still a youthful 21-year-old, but then by the end he's a 28-year-old playing a 21-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's a
bigger difference.
Like.
Yeah.
And I bet Carlton was probably similar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's too old to be doing the Carlton.
I don't know, man. He looked pretty great doing it still.
I mean,
I bet you could get on Cameo and pay Carl.
Oh, for sure.
I bet he still does that. You can get Alfonso.
How much are those things? I would for sure check out Alfonso doing some weird stuff.
They don't just do weird stuff for money, Alfonso Ribeira.
I don't know, man. Depends on how far you've fallen.
He does have a profile on Cameo. I'm trying to figure out how this works.
$250 for a request.
Is that for real? I'm trying to find out where the rates are. Oh yeah, $250.
I literally just Googled Cameo Alfonso Ribeiro, and it says request $250.
Yeah. Responds in 24 hours, so that's pretty good.
It says 24-hour delivery available. Yeah.
Got nothing going on.
It's got a 4.9 star rating.
Oh, man. I love this. This is some next level. I've never we're just walking you through Cameo.
We're gonna do a cameo here. Hey, we'll do a cameo. We also, all three of us will do one cameo for anyone. $250, 24 hours.
Just see what kind of hits I get.
FNL cameo. Hit us up at FNL podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitter. We'll do it 24
like
hours.
the entire cast of the Tiger King is on there.
Oh God.
From prison?
There wasn't Joe wasn't there, but there was a Joe Exotic body double.
Oh God.
Don't know.
How are all of those people not in prison?
John Bon Jovi's on Cameo.
Man, how much? Mr.
25
Bovine Joni.
It says from $2,500.
Jesus.
And people do that crap.
I mean, there's a solid Ice-T, Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Toby from The Office for just under $500.
That's pretty dope.
Jimmy's in.
So bringing it back, there also is a pretty impressive cameo list and just like big guest star list. And I noticed, I think it's Don Cheadle plays a guy named Ice Tray, which I thought was good.
I'm into it.
But there's a lot of like Quincy Jones as himself, and like Queen Latifah and stuff in episodes, and just a million more people.
Yeah, all in all, good show. I think quality, good show. Learn some life lessons. Laugh with Will Smith. You're bored. Watch some Fresh Prince, huh?
Yeah. I might watch just as much as I can before the HBO Max trial is over.
Got 7 days, Jimmy. You should do it. Should we get into predictions? See how we did?
Yeah.
Do it.
Cool. Who went first? Joe? Was that you?
I did, yeah. I think I did pretty well, actually. I did. Will leaves in a cab, which we didn't get to see him leave, so think that's out. Jeffrey officially retires. That's true.
Yeah. Good one.
We get a Carlton dance, and we got, full on like double Carlton dance.
Yeah, whole new moves in there.
Yeah. And then I had 5 hugs minimum, and I stopped counting at 7. So plenty of hugs. So 3 points.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Way to go. Well, I had Ashley is valedictorian. I bet she was, but that wasn't the episode we watched, so that's nothing there. But I also said we see the Carlton, and we did. But then I said Uncle Phil chills out, and I don't think that necessarily happened. He barked at 2 little kids once, but
he had a chill demeanor.
He was chiller. He was definitely calmer. It wasn't what I was looking for. I'm not taking the points.
So, hold on. So, I think you walked out of the room for just a hot minute.
When?
Right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning of
I
the
did
first
walk out right at the
episode.
beginning. I missed the pre-credit roll.
Yes, you did. And
What did he do?
The whole thing is he walks in, he calls for everybody, I'm home, are you here? And nobody answers.
I saw that part, and then I walked out of the room.
He turns on some music and just starts to just let loose.
He's dancing.
He's dancing, and he kicks off his shoes, and then he goes into the dances his way into the kitchen where the lights fling on and they all yell surprise because apparently it's his birthday. But then the opening credits roll and Joe goes, "Was that chill?" And I saw you weren't on the Zoom screen, and I just put my hand to my lips shh,
take this to our graves.
All right,
but honestly, I would give it to you.
All right, you told me that. I think that counts. Yeah, that's the one I missed. That was the 20 seconds I missed while I walked into my.
That's perfect.
Man.
Well, and there's parts where Nikki's ragging on him, and he was pretty chill about it.
Yeah,
it's true. He wasn't in 3-piece suits the whole time. Either. He was much more relaxed.
All right, I'm taking it then. You guys gave it to me. And then my last one was Will's moving out, and Will also moved out. So that is true. So I got 3 points as well.
Everybody moved out.
Wow.
Everybody moved. That's nuts. I feel like I did terrible. What is happening this week? Okay, number 1, I thought Will was going to go back to Philly. He's just staying in California. Going to go to school. Number 2, and then I thought someone was going to eat a cheesesteak in Philly, because that's apparently what you do. Then 3, I had a non-clip Carlton. We had no clips, did we?
No, it was wonderful.
Not a single clip. I am appalled in a good way. And then my number 4 was I was hoping for an Ashley rap. And apparently she's too old for that.
Man, I thought we were going to get an Ashley rap near the end of the second one when they were all saying goodbye. I thought she was going to just
bust one
throw out a 2-liner or something, but nothing.
Yeah, so did we say so Ashley and Hillary are moving in together to do something or other. Hillary's in the TV biz. Carlton is going to school somewhere?
Yeah.
Princeton.
That sounds right.
Jeffrey's going to London, and I don't remember hearing where the parents were actually going.
I think they were going back to Philly.
Vivian and Phil?
Yeah.
Did they ever live in Philly?
I mean,
I suppose.
Maybe 35 years ago,
But Vivian did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got one.
I think they said that, but it's not a.
Yeah, definitely
100%.
East Coast.
But East Coast for sure.
Okay.
So yeah.
Come on. Will.
Hey, we all got at least 1 point, which equals a good show. Just some of us are just know our French Prince guessing better.
Did you say French?
Do you keep saying French Prince?
I do not. I might have said it there.
The French Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, oui.
French Prince. I might have said French Prince right there because I just looked up French Stewart in Cameo. FYI.
Oh, that's
I guess.
fantastic.
He responds in
10
4
bucks.
days. $100.
Dang.
$100. Not
Worth
bad.
it.
Might be worth it.
You can get
If I can get
WWE.
French Stewart to yell "Dos Futbolitos" at me, I think I'm good.
I found that you can get WWE superstar TJ Perkins for $19.
Oh my God.
Might be too much. But Big E, you can get Big E
For hundreds, $200.
$300.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
All right.
Is there a price
hey,
range? Can you just go like what's $20 and less and do a search?
Probably.
yeah. I'm looking from lowest to highest.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah,
A lot of $5 deals.
Excellent.
we're no longer talking
Sale.
about French Prince. The French Prince is done.
Oh man.
We're done with this podcast. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you want to do a show suggestion, you can, and hit us up at FNL Podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitter. That would be great. If you want to rate this podcast on whatever podcast app you are doing so, listening to, I'm saying words. I'm just done with words tonight, everybody. Rate us. That'd be great. That's it. That's all we got. We're heading out. We'll see you next week for another First and Last. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Okay, now we can all start looking at Cameo again.
I want to get on Cameo.